these stories. I'd like to read from this book for you with yourselves, if that's all right. This is an Australian and Chinese. So this is an Australian professional speaker who goes about delivering keynote speeches all over the world, and it's quite similar to what happens in Lost in Translation. So after one such presentation, the Australian learned that the Chinese interpreter's version of his opening remarks went something like this. The highly respected media expert is beginning his speech with a thing called a joke. This is in China, right? I'm not sure why, but many Australians believe it is necessary to start a speech with a joke. Pause. He's telling a joke now. Pause. But frankly, you would not understand this joke, so I will not translate it. He thinks I'm telling you the joke now. The polite thing to do when he finishes is to laugh. Pause. He's getting close. Pause. Esteemed speaker has just told the joke. Laugh. Now. So the audience not only laughed appreciatively, but stood and applauded as well. When the Australian later commented to the translator saying, I've been giving speeches for years and you are the first translator who knows how to tell a good joke, she retorted and said, your joke was rather rude. Plus, I do not think the Chinese audience would have understood it. So I just told them to laugh at the appropriate point. The Australian went in there thinking, if I start with a joke, he took the parameters that worked for him in the Western culture to an Eastern culture, and frankly, it just didn't work. So cultural awareness is very important for us. So let's have a look at these biases, these aspects that affect our listening. Is everybody with me? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Please shout if you're not. Please make comments. I really would appreciate it. So let's have a look at biases. Now before we do that, can I just say we're going to look at examples of this. The first one, and by the way, each bias is connected to the other, and there's millions of them out there. People have made it their life's business to write about cognitive biases. Lots of books. Ask Mr. Google, you'll find lots of information. The first one I'd like to address is confirmation bias. What do you think that means? What do you think that confirmation bias means?
Agreeing or disagreeing with something based on your perception, your own understanding.
Agreeing or disagreeing, slightly different. Karen, any ideas?
Is it about what you agree is the norm, or agreeing what's acceptable?
No, agreement doesn't come in here. This is basically seeing what you want to see and hearing what you want to hear. It's only paying attention to things that match your beliefs. Yeah? So given a situation, you're only listening for what matches your beliefs. Can you think of a situation like this? Particularly at work? Football. What about football? Go on.
If someone's recounting the day at the match, I've probably just stopped in between getting off the bus, getting back home and talking about dinner with the family. Everything else in between I've just switched off to.
That's it. That's confirmation bias. You buy a red car, every car you see around is red. Yeah? Any others? Any other examples? Because this we have to nail this one, guys, because this is what stops us from being effective communicators. Because this is a dangerous thing. Doctors do this all the time. They misdiagnose. You come in with a temperature, you come in with body aches, nothing. Take some ibuprofen and go away. The underlying thing could be as bad as cancer. But they just put 2 and 2 together to make 5. Sometimes it is 4. So think of situations right now, right here, where you might have experienced this. We'll be doing some role play in a bit. But this is dangerous because you often come to the wrong decision. Because you've just ignored the most pertinent thing there is, because you're so focused on only listening. A funny story, a few years ago, I went on a hike, and I didn't know anything at all about it. I just followed some friends, and I picked up, we went to the pub, we joined as a group, and I just picked up a leaflet, and it says, challenge with attitude. I do that, it's not a problem. So off I went, 12 miles of very steep hike. I was huffing and puffing, and I didn't believe how tough it was. Came back, rolled into the pub, got my chips, got my pint, sat down there huffing and puffing and picked up the leaflet again. And it says challenge with altitude and not attitude. Misread it. Honest to God, as I stand here today, that is a true story. I misread it. How could I misread altitude to attitude? It was simply that I was sure I hadn't practiced for this, I hadn't trained for it, I just had to get on with it. What was important was my attitude. And that was what it was in the forefront of my mind. I gotta do it, I gotta do it, I gotta do it. So I read it as challenge with attitude as opposed to aptitude. If that happens in business, it's difficult.